if you're a sprinter, you've got to be pulling a lot of water, and you have to pull that water very, very quickly. And that doesn't happen without lean mass, right? Like if you can't pull more water faster, then you're getting beat. Yeah. Buoyancy is less of concern. You know, they're in the water for, some of those guys are in the water less than 20 seconds for a race. So they can handle it, right? They add some muscle, they pull more water. Now, as long as they maintain their mobility, which is incredibly important, they can handle it. A distance swimmer, buoyancy is a huge piece of that, right? So like if you get so dense and you get like really, really lean, you're not going to see like a super chiseled distance swimmer all that often, because without the body fat, now the amount of energy it takes to keep them on top of the water, it changes, and not for the better, right? Because they get more dense, and now they have to spend a lot more energy just to stay on top of the water. It's not going to be as beneficial for them.
I remember working with this guy. He was a record holder at one point. He was a world record holder at one point. I wish I remembered his name, but when I was interviewing him, he said that he hated doing strength work and would rather spend all the time in the water. I mean, what's your take on that? He's a 1500.
I was going to say, well, it depends on your event, right? I actually, we've sent some swimmers to schools, and I've had them come back. We have a pretty good like alumni type feel, and like we always welcome the grads back to the program, especially in the summer. If they're, generally freshman, sophomore, sometimes even up to junior year, they'll come home, be with mom and dad, want to swim on a team. They'll come back to PPA. And I remember more than once I've heard them say, oh, the distance swimmers don't lift. And I'm just thinking, okay, well, at the very least, a distance swimmer has, so many walls, like even if it's just training that explosive power that is specific joint angles for a flip turn, that's free energy off of every wall, right? So definitely wouldn't go that far just to say that distance swimmers shouldn't do strength training, but I would say that it's going to have a greater impact in general on a sprinter. You won't find all that many super high level swimmers, high collegiate, national level, like that don't do strength training. At this point, I would argue that you'd probably find very, very few. And those are probably the genetic anomalies, right? They've got the levers built for it. They've got huge lungs. The proportions are perfect.
He had that. He was like that. That was his body.
Yeah. And do you remember when he held records?
I was at Tokyo Pan Pacs. He was in Pan Pacs.
Okay.
2018.
Okay. Yeah, and I think in general, like I don't, if you follow the sport, you'll notice that records are just dropping like crazy lately. And I think a big part of that is because the emphasis on the strength work has completely changed. Like when I swam way back in the day, like, yeah, we were doing some lunges on deck, maybe doing some crunches. Like it wasn't really strength work. You know what I mean? So, but now like collegiate programs, you're going to be lifting, right? Maybe unless you're a distance swimmer, apparently. Then maybe at the wrong school, you won't be lifting there.